Welcome to Stereo Current. I'm Camille Laurent, and as the winter fog rolls across the city today, we find ourselves retreating into those more introspective corners of the indie landscape. It's really a day for textures, the kind that feel like, worn velvet or cold obsidian.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm Miles Mercer. We're definitely leaning into that atmosphere today. From the brooding post-punk of Los Angeles to a 20-year hip-hop retrospective out of North Carolina, the music crossing our desks right now feels, earned. It's got real history behind it.
It certainly does, right? We're starting today in the shadows of Southern California. Stephen Fleet's solo project, Dream Bodies, has just released a new single titled Omens. And Miles, it feels like a transmission from a very specific, very moody frequency.
Oh, Omens is heavy. It's the 7th single from Fleet, and it really feels like the culmination of his 2025 evolution. It's got that 80s cinematic gloom, think Joy Division meets early Interpol, but with a certain intimacy that keeps it from feeling like just a pastiche.
Yeah, it's that melancholic charm, isn't it? There is something incredibly literary about Darkwave when it's done with this much intentionality. Fleet isn't just mimicking the past, he's using those cold, cavernous drum machines to build a sanctuary for modern anxieties. It's the kind of track that makes you want to, browse a dusty bookstore at midnight.
Precisely! And if Fleet is building a sanctuary, our next artist is building an entire galaxy. We have to talk about New Laconia. They've just dropped an animated music video for Captain Daredevil that is, frankly, one of the most ambitious things I've seen in the independent metal scene lately.
New Laconia is fascinating. Yeah, a Ukrainian project that treats music as just one component of a much larger multimedia tapestry. Captain Daredevil continues their Stardust Bear Bazaar odyssey. It moves away from the meditative fusion of their earlier work and dives straight into high-octane heavy metal.
It's gritty. We're talking space pirates, an artifact called the Gift of Time, and a protagonist known as the Bartender Bear. It's lore-heavy, right? But the music really holds its own. The tension in the metal riffs perfectly underscores this narrative of survival and hard choices in the cosmos.
Uh-huh. And there is something so resilient about the Ukrainian creative spirit right now. To be building these expansive, fantastical sci-fi universes while living through the reality they are facing, it adds a profound layer of weight to the cinematic momentum you mentioned, Miles.
Definitely. Speaking of weight and longevity, let's shift gears to North Carolina. Ty Brew is celebrating 20 years of his label, Mightier Than The Sword, or MTTS. He just released HAY ZEUS, a track that's been a legend in his live sets for over a decade.
I love the story behind this one. Ty Brew describes it as the die-hard of hip-hop Christmas songs. It's a dense web of wordplay, Zeus versus Jesus, clouds of smoke versus divine thrones. And he finally landed the perfect feature for it, the legendary Sadat X.
Yeah, Sadat X is the perfect foil for Ty Brew's style. Ty's been a fixture from Boone to Beijing, and hearing him rhyme alongside a pioneer like Sadat feels like a graduation. It's authentic boom bap. Ty actually produced the beat with Sadat in mind back in 2012. Talk about a slow burn.
It's that independence, Miles. The Mightier Than The Sword ethos is all about that DIY discipline. Ty reflects on how the label started the night of his college graduation in 2005. 2 decades later, he's still, hacking away the unessential, focusing on the core of the culture.
Right, and that hunger is still visible in the newer acts we're watching too. Take the Bingo Boys out of Indianapolis. Their new cut, Cheap Gas, is under 2 minutes of raw, scuzzy garage rock. It's a total punch to the gut.
It's refreshing, isn't it? In an era of polished pop, hearing those scorching punk-infused vocals and guitars that sound like they're actually hurting the amplifier, it's vital. It's the same energy we're seeing in the UK with Split Second. They've got that Radio X backing and hooks that feel like they were written for thousands of people to chant back at them.
Yeah, Split Second has this weird, wonderful mix of Blondie's pop finesse and Fleetwood Mac's warmth. They're polished, but they haven't lost that raw underpinning. It's a difficult balance to strike for a young band.
And then there's Josh, the Birmingham-based artist who recorded his debut single, Out of Place, in his bedroom. It's a soulful take on indie rock, capturing that Gen Z search for identity. It's intimate, honest, and remarkably well-structured for a debut.
It all brings us back to that perennial question. What does indie even mean in 2026? We've been looking back at the roots lately, the late 70s transition from punk to post-punk, where indie was a business model before it was a sound.
I think the artists we've discussed today, Ty Brew, Stephen Fleet, New Laconia, they embody that original spirit. It's less about being unsigned and more about the refusal to conform. Whether it's a 100-second garage rock blast or a multi-part sci-fi metal epic, the common thread is just raw authenticity.
Yeah, exactly. It's about the work being mightier than the sword. Or, in the case of our LA Darkwave scene, mightier than the gloom. That's our roundup for today. You can find all these links at neuralnewscast.com/shows/stereo-current. I'm Miles Mercer.
And I'm Camille Laurent. Keep your ears open and your turntable spinning. This has been Stereo Current. We'll see you tomorrow. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.